What's up, people? All right, so this is part three of the Naamah, the Path of Naamah videos series that I was going to put out anyway. And so basically, where I wanted to pick up off at was when I worked through Naamah, right, and when I personally through her path and I projected her energies as myself out into the world around me, out into my projected reality, was that I became horny. You know what I'm saying? My sexual energy was all time high, was very, very active, right? So what I had to do was I had to literally cultivate a deeper understanding of what Nama is to me, to cultivate um the alchemical aspects, the alchemical transformation within me to bypass my lower animalistic nature. So at that time when I was going through Nama, because of the fact that she activates the lower nature sexually, so you're gonna have all these sexual energies, these sexual thoughts, the sexual feelings and sensations. That's because the energy is tied at the lower plane, right? The lower chakra, as a lot of people talk about, and so basically, because this energy is trapped in the lower plane, the lower self, the genitals, right? As soon as you work with energy, it's the deity within yourself, and you activate this energy, it becomes an open gateway. Okay, and so that open gateway releases those energies, and at the same time, it releases the kundalini because that's where the kundalini is trapped. It's trapped there because that's where all the basis of human life starts. That's where all divine life starts. That's where the divine mind has settled itself on the human plane so that you could survive, so that you can have a humanistic experience and experience it from the divine mind aspect in the lower plane of self. Okay. And so when you start to cultivate and work with these divine energies, which Nama is a divine energy, as I said, you work with her from the plane of the lower self. You open these gates, and she basically just opens the flood. She basically floods you with all these sexual energies, sexual thoughts, and so on and so forth. And so yeah, you give in because you don't understand. You're learning the process of how Nama works in this perspective, right? So what you're going through is you're gonna go through your lower nature sexual sensations and feelings and appetite is going to be activated, right? But then the person that is in control of his divine being, so to speak, right? You're going to take those energies and you're going to start to use them through meditation, right? This is what I did. Use it through meditation. Write out different ways of how you can use your sexual energy because now it's active. That at that time it's the best time to actually work with those energies. So write out different ways that you can use those energies. That's what I did. I wrote out different things. I'm like, okay, so now that Nama is active, now that this is once I passed the gates of being sexually exploring my sexuality in that way, promiscuously, but once I got past that lower self state, that state of lower self, I started to ask myself, okay, how can I transform you, Nama? Talking to myself in an alchemical way to where it benefits me, not just in my daily life, but in my on my divine path within my divine mind. And so as I started to meditate, I started to get different things, different way. I started to get different sigils, right? I started to get different meditations. I started to get different path workings, different things, and it started to lead me to different spirits, right? Because now, not being the queen of succubus, the queen of vampiric demons, I was able to develop certain vampiric demons, a certain vampiric aspect, or certain sexual aspects, certain sexual spirits that I could create as thought forms that I would then use on myself through meditation to activate them, so that now they're working on me internally to enhance further and greater knowledge of self. So, for example, um, say for instance, you're working with Naamah and you do a meditation. She gives you a spirit of orgasm, right? She gives you a spirit of orgasm. It comes up. Now you start to meditate on that spirit that generates orgasm on a higher plane. The lower plane aspect of that spirit of orgasm would be you just fucking and you bust a nut, and that's it. That's the orgasmic energy, which is the energies of enlightenment, the energy of light being released from the lower plane, from the genitals, right? The lower self. The higher aspects of orgasm would be, how can I create orgasms within myself? That's programmed orgasms. That as soon as I have an orgasm, as soon as the orgasm is released, it releases a specific type of knowledge, a specific type of light. So you're programming your orgasm to give you light. So for example, say I want to know more about I'm gonna keep it sexual, right? I'm gonna keep it sexual. I just want to keep it raw because we're talking about Lilith and Naamah here, right? I want to increase my endurance, right? I want to increase my stamina. I want to increase, but men, for men, they would understand this. I want to increase my length. I want to increase how long I go, how deep I go inside of the woman. For a woman, she can say, I want to increase my knowledge of how wet I can become, how much lubrication I can produce, how much lubrication to make it enough to where I stimulate the man to make him orgasm or to not make him orgasm, or to activate his sexual primal side, or to activate his God self, right? And so you program your orgasms, right, through this spirit, to then whenever you have an orgasm, it could be through masturbation, it could be through just thinking, because you can create orgasms in the mind. Sex is in the mind. We've heard our lecturers and we've heard our teachers talk about that, which it is, right? You thinking about it and you meditating on the spirit, you start to get yourself into that state of having orgasm. And as you have an orgasm, you've already programmed your mind to say, okay, as I have an orgasm, this particular type of knowledge of me going harder, me being harder, me going longer, me going deeper, or for her, me being wetter, me opening my vagina to this diameter or whatever it is during sex, or tightening my vagina around his penis or whatever the case may be. As soon as you have that orgasm, you will gain deeper knowledge and aspects that are personal to you about how to activate those things that make sex not just personally pleasurable, which is Naamah's aspect, right? She wants you to be in pleasure. Naamah is pleasure. So you want to not only enjoy sex from the lower plane, right? Animalistic plane, because you're going to enjoy sex from an animalistic plane. That's what we do. But you also want to enjoy it from the divine aspect plane, which is gaining more light. That's what sex is about. Gaining more light and activating light within yourself. Okay? And so you go through and you have these orgasms, and you're starting to activate and to realize deeper aspects of whatever it is that you program these orgasms to have, right? And so that's one aspect that you can kind of work with Naamah when you do the meditation. So first, obviously, like I said yesterday, you're going to go through a fearful process, because Naamah is a foreign deity and an entity that's been sleeping inside of you, a foreign energy that you haven't used in so long that you've suppressed her via your animalistic nature, right? And even women can suppress Naamah in the place that Adam suppressed Lilith, right? And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So because you are suppressing your sexual nature via your conscious mind, you are, even though you're a female, you are taking the role of Adam suppressing Lilith. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Think about it. Okay, so in order to release Naamah, in order to release Lilith, in order to let Lilith be free, you have to free your sexuality, which means that you have to go through the fears of your taboos, the things that you hold back, things that you're afraid of, the things that you're ashamed of, the things that make you feel shy, the things that make you feel arrogant, that make you feel cocky, whatever it is. When it comes, we're going to stick to this particular perspective of sex. You have to work through, right? Which means that fears may come up. You may have been cocky and arrogant in the bedroom due to the fact that you have low self-esteem to cover up the fact that you have a small dick or that you're not wet enough. You know what I'm saying? And so you project this image of being arrogant and cocky because of that, which you are at that point suppressing Naamah, because Naamah is the free aspect of your sexuality, men and women. So, which means that if she is the free aspect of your sexuality, that means you have to free your sexuality, right? Accept the fact that you have a small dick. Accept the fact that you don't get wet enough. That's why you work with the spirit, because if you work with the spirit, you gain inner knowledge about how you can become wet enough and how you can increase the size of your dick, right? So this is only you helping yourself and regenerating certain aspects of light within your mind so that you can improve your life either on a mundane physical plane and a higher plane. Okay. So this isn't, when I talk about these spirits, it isn't to say that I'm against lower mundane aspects of revealing this knowledge and working with the knowledge, right? I'm against humanity because humanity, you know, like it's been explained before, humanity locks your divine power down. It keeps you locked down. It keeps you from exploring these aspects of yourself, which is free, right? We're talking about Lilith. You want to free yourself from that shit. So I am against humanity because humanity locks it down. Anything that deals with humanity, especially when it comes to working with spirituality, has no place. It should not be included in your spirituality, except for using your humanity as a motherfucking tool to observe your mundane reality. Okay, that's the only place that humanity has in your spirit work, to use it as a tool. You're the puppeteer, or you're the puppet master, the puppeteer, and your humanity is the puppet. Okay, so learn to use it that way. Okay, and so prevent yourself from becoming devoured by Naamah through, you know, through constantly keeping your sexual energies locked in on a lower plane. Now, it doesn't mean that you always have to have sex, masturbate, watch videos of porn, whatever it is, just to raise yourself up higher. The thing is, what I'm giving to you is I'm giving you options, right? I'm giving you options. It's another form of a gateway, right? I'm giving you options so that you have the choice, right? The divine choice to say, okay, well, when I have sex, I can now use my sexual energy to either raise up my consciousness, and to gain deeper aspects of myself, or I can use my sexual energies to improve my fucking mundane life, to give me more money. You know what I'm saying? To help me find a mate that's equal to me, that now when I have sex with them, we both feed each other sexually and we gain light that way. Or, you know, gain a new car, whatever it is that pleases you, you know, on both levels. You have to keep it balanced within your mundane existence and your divine self. You have to, because if you don't, you'll be out of balance and Naamah will eat you up. Because even if you gain this higher aspects of divine knowledge, if you're still living from the lower aspect of not dealing with freeing your sexuality and freeing your divine mind and dealing with all the bullshit that you have locked in from your animalistic nature, even though you gain this divine knowledge, like I was telling you guys with the story about how I activated Naamah and I was going through a cycle of this being horny all the time, fucking all the time, all this shit, right? What happens is you gain this divine knowledge and you automatically bring it down to the lower nature, to the lower self, to the animal self, the animalistic self. And then that's how you see your divine self is in the animal state. You don't want to do that. You want to release that shit. So what you want to do is, as you are working with Naamah, is not to deter you from working with Naamah. As you are working with Naamah, talk to Naamah and say, how are ways that I can dissolve, destroy, remove, evaporate my lower humanistic aspect and release those higher divine aspects in myself so that I can raise my consciousness, my light higher. Okay? Because all this information is to help you. And so as you do so, that information, that light, that knowledge will be revealed to you, right? As you go through your journey of path working with Naamah. This is why I say, for me, path working is one of the most powerful things, the most powerful sources and magics there is. So if I could consider myself to be any type of magician or, you know, practitioner of the occult and hidden sciences, Like, some people say I'm a Satanist. Some people say, I'm this, I do that. My specialty is this. Mine will be path working. Okay, so I'm a path working magician, sorcerer, whatever you want to fucking label me as, right? And whatever I decide to label myself, right? I'm a path working magician, which means I like to go in deep into my own subconscious mind, dig up information in life, face my fears, and do the work of myself to see how that shit affects me in my life. This way, I gain a deeper understanding and aspect of myself, and I gain more light. Man, I'm all about gaining more light. But the thing is, I don't pull my light from the outside source. That's the illusion. I don't pull my light from you guys, because the thing is, if I pull my light from you guys, I'm pulling in your ego. That's pulling in aspects of you that I'm not trying to absorb. I'm not trying to accept in, because that's feeding the ego, right? That's me feeding the ego. I develop and cultivate more light from the inside, going inside, doing my meditations and shit, and then releasing that shit out into the world invisibly through daily workings and stuff like that. So, um, that's how you can work with Naamah. Like I said, I gained a greater knowledge of Naamah. Then from Naamah, because she is the pleasant aspect, right? She is the wild aspect of sexuality, of Lilith's sexual nature, which means that when you do come into contact with Naamah, when you activate Naamah, and she will, oh, by the way, she will manifest physically in your life, one way or another. Trust me, she will, and you will see. And that, don't be afraid of it, but just realize that that's Naamah reflecting her energies. That's you reflecting Naamah as you, right? Her energies out from you into the world, and the world has to, like I said before, it has to mirror back those same exact energies to you through your mundane experience. It's a mirroring effect, right? You have dark and light. So the darkness is you, right? You are Naamah. You are literally Naamah, right? So think about it like this, right? You do meditation, you look into a black scrying mirror, you scry into a black mirror, and you see the image of Naamah. What you're seeing is your darkness before you in the black mirror, right? You're seeing Naamah as the darkness, as the shadow. She's the shadow. You are the light, right? Go with me here. So when you devour that aspect of Naamah within yourself, you become the shadow. The manifested aspects of Naamah in the world around you, in your mundane reality, become the light. You get what I'm saying? So you're projecting that light out from yourself into the world. So which means that in order to experience your light, you must vibrate at a level that's going to attract your light to you. And when you do, she will manifest in the form of women and men, right? So for you guys out there, be aware of that shit too. Because Naamah, she's androgynous in nature as well too. She works from a divine masculine, divine feminine aspect, even though she is a part of the feminine current of Lilith, right? It doesn't matter if anybody's attuned to that vibration, they will attract themselves to you, right? For me, it was all women. I'll put that out there. It's all women, But I came into contact with Naamah from a perspective of viewing her in the world around me as a divine feminine aspect. From that point, I was able to observe how I'm projecting Naamah's energy, and how Naamah's energy is cultivated and customized to me personally, and projecting that energy out into the world around me. Okay. And then so I basically went through, my process of working with Naamah that way. So that's just to give you guys a heads up. She will activate your lower nature. So when you're in the bedroom, be as wild as you want, man. Go fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? Because not only are you honoring and you're elevating that Naamah's energy, but you're attuning yourself to that vibration, right? Of being wild, which activates another gateway, right? And your sexual energies are primal at that point. You're fucking getting all over the place. Shit's just, it's crazy and it's fun. Okay. So yeah, that's the aspect of Naamah. And then obviously you have Agrat Batmalat, who's the roof dancing demon. I've worked with all of them. I've worked with all those aspects of Lilith, and they all have different attributes that are beautiful. Okay. Agrat Batmalat is equivalent to Pampajira. Okay, for you guys who work with Pampajira, Agarbatmalat is the demonic aspect of Pampajira. Okay, I've worked with Aisha Zununum, which is Lilith's, in my eyes. Now, mind you, these are aspects that I've recognized, that I've realized by doing the work, okay? By doing the meditation, facing my fears, cultivating these things. Aisha Zununum is Lilith's more mature aspect. So if you got the three aspects of, say for instance, Lilith is the moon, right? Lilith is the moon. Like literally, she is the moon, right? In the aspect, you guys get with me. She's the energy of the moon. The three aspects, how like you got the three aspects of the moon, right? You have the waning, the full, and the waxing, right? You have the three aspects of the goddess, right? You have her younger aspects, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The three aspects of Lilith, Lilith being the moon, the central gateway, the three aspects of her would be Naamah, which is the younger aspect. Okay, you have Agrabat Malat, which would be the mother aspect, the more mature aspect of her, and then you have Aisha Zununum, which is the crone aspect. Okay, so Aisha Zununum is more for me when I activated my Aisha Zununum energy. She was more of your death type energy. She was more of a sense. She was more of a death type energy. She was more of a crone type energy. She was more of a Saturnian type energy in the aspect of being serious, of an aspect of being death like, in the aspect of being mature, in the aspect of being wise. You know what I'm saying? She can teach you a lot about poisons and stuff. Okay. Very powerful, very potent aspect of Lilith. You know what I'm saying? You can fuck some people up with Aisha Zununum. Okay. And so Lilith has those three main aspects. Obviously, Lilith is the first mother, the first woman that walked the planet, the first black woman, right, that walked the planet, and all the aspects, all the demons, all the 100 demons that she bears forth daily are just the sins of humanity, but also the 100 demons are also us, black people. Okay, we are the 100 demons that she bore forth. Okay, because we come from the divine black mother, the divine black spark. We are demonic in nature, right? Which is chaotic, which is genius in nature. So we since we come from the divine mother, the divine black mother, the all Satan, Shaitan, you get the idea by now, I'm sure. We are those aspects, and the aspect of you being demonic in humanity is your demonic aspect. So you are a demonic form of Lilith in humanity, right? Because you are against, naturally, you are against the ties of order, right? And you represent chaos as black people. Okay, this is your legacy. This is your story. Take your shit back. Okay, and so now I'm just gonna go off into something that was revealed to me by the goddess. Saying love to the goddess about menstruation. Okay, and this here is for women. Okay, let's see here.